All right, we're live. So, wow, happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had an awesome weekend. I know I did. I've got two kids, so Father's Day was a special day for us. And, summer's getting started, last week of school. People are definitely thinking about, vacation plans. But over here, we are thinking about Voice Summit 2019. We are just about approaching our 30-day mark. And if anybody has produced events out there, you know that the 30-day mark becomes very fun. But leading up to the event, we're doing something extra special this year. We're interviewing a number of our speakers, folks that are coming to join us in Newark, New Jersey, July 22nd through the 25th. This morning, we're talking with Theodora Lau. She is the founder of Unconventional Ventures, and she will be speaking at Voice Summit. Theodora, good morning.
Good morning, Pete. Thanks for having me.
I guess I could say Theo. Right?
Yes, and belated Happy Father's Day. I can't believe it's
thank you.
Been a little over a year since I first met you in the first Voice Summit.
Yes. Well, I have to tell you, it's been one of the best gifts I've given myself was starting this conference. Now we have people coming from 25 countries, and this voice first space and this ecosystem is unique. It's interesting. The people are interesting, and that includes you, Theo. And we just get exposed to so much happening out there. Tell us a little bit about Unconventional Ventures and why you started it and what you're up to.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So Unconventional Ventures has been a little over a year old now. Can't believe that. We started it after my corporate life, and I wanted to do something a little different, similar in the vein of activities that both Brad Leimer, my partner in crime, and myself has been doing. Our whole goal is to improve diversity inclusion in the space. So from how do we make financial services better? How do we include more people in the service offerings? How do we serve them better? So when we talk about diversity, it's not just about gender, which is typically what industry thinks about. It's also about diversity of voice, diversity of age, diversity of socioeconomic backgrounds. Because a lot of times when we look at the products and services, it's still very much geared towards either a very specific demographic, shall we say, the younger and the hipper, quote unquote, group from the Silicon Valley, or your high net worth customers. So, if we look at one of the stats, right, 26 people in the surface of this planet own half of the wealth of own as much wealth as the bottom half of
Okay, let me just repeat that. 26 people in the world own half the wealth in the world?
No, they own, that was me speaking. See, I need coffee. So 26 people in the world own as much wealth as half of humanity.
Got it.
It's scary, right?
Right.
So if you think about that, we have growing inequality in the society. We have a lot of missed opportunities, right? It doesn't always have to be negative. It's about how do we capture the growing market of older people, which is one of the big focus that we have. How do we capture the needs of gig economy workers? How do we capture the needs of women in general? So those are the things that we focus on. We try to improve the dialogue. We try to spur conversations into actions, and we work with startups and incumbents, and as well as event organizers like yourself.
Very cool. What a great mission. And I think that, the whole journey, I think for me as an organizer, what was interesting is, I got into this space just because I felt the need to bring people together. And I think one of the things I didn't appreciate was just how much I would be kind of thrust into the middle of the conversation related to diversity and inclusion in the tech space. And, it was, so it's a little bit, in a way, it caught me by surprise in one aspect. And then I realized what an opportunity it was on the other. And the lessons learned along the way have not been easy. What would you say are some of the biggest lessons that the tech industry maybe has learned over the last 10 years? And where do you see the improvement happening?
Has learned or should learn?
I think should learn is great. I think it's great. What are the lessons that tech should be learning right now? and where's the biggest room for improvement related to, maybe the tech space?
Yeah, I think we can sum it up with one word, which is empathy. We need a whole lot more empathy in the
Mm-hmm.
industry to be able to better understand the needs of others who don't look like us, who don't come from the
Right.
same backgrounds as us, right? There was
Mm-hmm.
a story recently about an event of a group of Silicon Valley execs that went to Europe, and they did a photo shoot, and guess what happened to the photo shoot? There were no women in there. And so, as an afterthought, they photoshopped two women in the
Oh,
picture. So, so the question is, which one is worse? Not having any women in the picture or photoshopping women in the picture, because you know that it was bad optics, right? And
mm-hmm.
it basically the whole challenge that we have in the industry got summed up by that story. Is that a
Right.
story is not just a story of optics, right? Diversity is not optics. Is much deeper. Is cultural. Is being empathetic towards the diversity of thoughts and people who are different than us. And it needs to be in every DNA that we have when we start a
Mm-hmm.
company. Um,
I Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't know about that story, but it's just exasperating. I think
uh,
that for us as organizers, diversity is not a number. For diversity is not a goal, with regards to that. It actually starts at the beginning, which is why we placed the event in Newark, New Jersey. We wanted to go into a city where we could have an impact and also work with a city that was already doing really important work related to education and nurturing, understanding that people are entering this space from many different backgrounds. That actually that is what reflects technology. And Newark ended up being a great partner for us, with regards to, if going back, if we're gonna be in this space, then we want to be in places that actually improve the space.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. That's why we love your event a lot. So much so that I actually have to move my vacation around your dates.
Oh,
But
well,
it's because of that, right? Because we believe in bringing opportunities into places that are not just your typical tier one San Francisco, New York, DC area,
right.
right? We need a whole lot more from a community perspective to bring them up, to lift them up. Because I am tired of hearing stories of founders that have to move because they don't have access to resources, because their ideas, not because they're bad ideas, it's just they don't get hurt, right? So
Yeah.
opportunities uh, are not equally distributed, and we need to
Hmm.
fix that.
Right. I agree. And, I don't want to take all the credit. You have to give credit that a lot of hard work is actually happening out there. And it's recognizing the hard work, and it's people like you that are one little chip at a time, helping to improve the industry. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be speaking about at Voice. I'm going to grab the tab here where I've got the agenda pulled up. All right, so you are talking about the longevity economy, with Heidi Culbertson and an esteemed panel there, definitely. Um, and interesting, when we think about diversity and inclusion, that also includes folks that may not look like us from an age standpoint. Of course, I'm looking more like that, like all folks all the time, but certainly those that are maybe transitioning careers, or just maybe at a different station in life. That's part of the accessibility economy. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do believe, and I think voice will be the next UI from the perspective of, I don't think it's going to replace screens per se, but it will be an increasingly common and important modality for us to communicate either amongst ourselves or with corporates, right? And Heidi is a great friend. She's amazing. Her company that she started, Osmavi, was one of the first startups that I talked to a few years ago when I started looking at the space. Voice is intuitive. That's what we always talk about. It's iPhone is already really easy to navigate. It's intuitive per se, but think about speaking, right? You don't. It's providing accessibility to services to people who otherwise might not know how to navigate through a menu, right? It's providing access to services to people who otherwise might not be able to see.
Hmm.
So I see that the voice as being very promising to demographics. Um, especially, to the older population. There has been studies after studies has been done that shows how older folks love interacting with their Alexa. It's not so much so that it replaces human, right? Because I think we still
Right.
need the human touch, but is another way to help them connect back to the society outside of their home, is another way for them to, for example, get convenience of services that it becomes challenging as you get older. So I think there's a whole lot more that needs to be done in that space to promote the use of voice technology and to make the services more accessible to more people.
I think about the possibilities, and it's pretty amazing. I have a father who's aging, and has dementia, and gets confused. And so the initial thought is, well, he wouldn't be a good candidate to use voice technologies. However, with AI and machine learning, the technology can actually learn how to decipher a conversation with him, and understand when he's having trouble and maybe using the wrong words, or doesn't understand day or night, or whatever the situation is. It starts to open up a world of possibilities.
Absolutely.
Even to understand when somebody does get up in the middle of the night, so you can sense that there may be a conversation there, and yeah, so it just starts to get really interesting. We're definitely excited for the future of voice here at Voice Summit, and for those of you out there watching this interview, Theo represents one of more than 300 folks that are coming from around the world to talk about this space and the important discussions about bias and diversity and inclusion, how we improve a society, and also just how to get started in this space, regardless of what your business is. So whether you're an independent retailer or work for one of the global 500s, that now is the time to really get into this space. You can check us out at voicesummit.ai. The event is July 22nd through the 25th. And also, if you are a student, or you're transitioning jobs, or you just need help economically, we have scholarships available. So definitely check out our scholarship plans as well. Theo, we really look forward to seeing you in Newark at the end of July. I can't believe you changed your vacation dates for us, but we really appreciate it, and we'll be sure to make it worth your while as well.
Well, just being able to see you and all the friends is already worth it, right?
Yeah. So many people, so many good friends. And yes, I would just encourage everybody, get to know this space. It's not just technologists, it's content folks, it's strategists, it is brands and agencies, everybody coming together. We will have more than 5,000 people joining us at the end of July in Newark, New Jersey. Come check out Newark too. You'll be surprised. If you're like me, I used to train through Newark, drive past Newark, and fly in and out of Newark Airport. But when I stopped into Newark downtown, I was really surprised to see a beautiful, clean city with many companies headquartered there, beautiful universities. We're going to be at the New Jersey Institute of Technology in a beautiful, brand new facility. So definitely come, give it a shot. I think you'll enjoy yourself and find it all worthwhile. Theo, thank you so much for getting us started on a Monday morning, and we'll see you at the end of July.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Cheers.